In today's video, I'm talking about the top 5 towns in North Jersey. Stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm about to talk about some of the hidden gems North Jersey has to offer. And if you've been relying on Google for your research, you're definitely going to miss out on some of these hidden gems that I'm telling you about right now. Let's go. My name's Kevin, this is Living in Jersey, and I make these videos to know exactly what you're getting yourself into when making the move to the Garden State. I'm also a realtor, and I would love to be a real estate choice when making the move to New Jersey, so feel free to call, text, or email me at any time. So all my Bergen County people would be super upset with me if I didn't include at least one town from their county. So we got Ridgewood, and Ridgewood is super popular. Again, if you Google, top places to live in New Jersey, Hoboken and Ridgewood are going to be on that list. So I hear what you're saying. Hold on to the end because my last 3 towns are not going to be on any of those lists. I promise. They're definitely hidden gems that you don't want to miss. But anyway, Ridgewood. It's about 20 miles outside New York City. Does have a train line, not a direct train line. If you do take that train, it's going to take you about an hour to get into New York City. They do have a bus option called the Bergen Bullet, and that's going to get you there the quickest, about 40 minutes. So those are some great commuting options. Again, time is of the essence. Time is your most valuable commodity. That's why people like living closer to the city. But you're going to pay a pretty penny for that convenience in a lot of cases. But luckily, the jobs in New Jersey and New York City can accommodate for that higher home price. Next up, they've got top-rated schools in Ridgewood. Some of the top-rated school districts in the entire state are in this town. Not to mention, they also have a very vibrant downtown with over 100 shops and restaurants, literally hundreds of shops and restaurants. So if you're into the nightlife scene, you definitely are going to be happy in a place like Ridgewood. As far as parks and rec options in Ridgewood, you've got Graydon Pond, which is a great option in the summer months. It's actually a spring-fed pond where you can obviously go swimming, paddle boarding, kayaking. It's over 2.5 acres big, so that's a pretty large space, and really anyone can access this with a membership, whether you live in Ridgewood or not. And then there's also a really cool music and art scene in this town as well. So there's even a film festival held there annually. So it's really got the entertainment, it's got the restaurants, it's got the proximity in New York City, and top school districts. I mean, what else could you really ask for? Again, if you're gonna Google the top places to live, Hoboken and Ridgewood are definitely gonna be on that list, but the next one up, I'm actually standing here right now, and that's in Morristown and Morris Township. Morristown and Morris Township are the perfect blend of everything, in my opinion. Again, I know you guys are gonna beat me up in the comments. They are 2 completely different towns. Morris Township surrounds Morristown almost like a donut in a donut hole. Downtown Morristown has those bars and restaurants like a Hoboken does, not to the same scale, but has plenty of variety to go around. You've got the Impact Theater to go to a great show. They have some headline names that come through town. There's also one of the top hospitals in the country in Morristown Medical Center right here in town, which is a major source of job and employment for the North Jersey area. I actually have a client moving down here from Buffalo to take a job. She's a physician. She's coming down here to work for Atlantic Health as well. Another really great perk to living in Morristown and Morris Township, which you definitely won't find on a quick little Google search, is that there's actually free preschool for kids ages 3 and 4. It is a lottery system, but I don't know anyone who never got into the lottery to really reap the benefits of this opportunity. And as someone who has 2 kids and pays for childcare, it definitely adds up quick and really can eat into your budget pretty quickly. So the fact that that's an option in Morristown and Morris Township, definitely something to consider in terms of cost of living and how that kind of equates into the equation there. Again, I can't go too long without talking about the Parks and Rec. I'm standing at the top of Fort Nonsense right now, which is a historic park. It's a national park, and George Washington actually stood here as a lookout to see if the British were literally coming from the New York City direction. So there's tons of history around here. We've got Jockey Hollow right down the road with great hiking options. There's Central Park in Morris County, which again, yes, technically not in Morristown or Morris Township, right on the border of Morris Township. It's got turf fields, dog park. There's a cross-country track there that a lot of people run on, I see all the time. So great options. And Morristown is always going to be one of my family's favorite places to come just to go out for a date night, to go to the restaurants. We come here just when it's a nice day, just to walk around, go to a coffee shop, grab a couple treats, hit up a park in town, let the kids play on the playground, and then head back home to Randolph where we live. My wife and I actually lived here for 5 or 6 years before we moved out to the suburbs. My wife actually grew up in Morristown Township, so we've been here pretty much our whole life, and it's definitely one of our favorite places around, and I don't know anyone who moved here who's not happy about living in this area. Next, we're gonna move a little bit further west, and we're gonna talk mountain lakes. I can pretty much guarantee you that on any list that you've Googled, mountain lakes is not gonna be on there. Not because it's not a great place to live, but because it doesn't have that kind of vibrant downtown that most of the towns on these lists generally have. Now, it does have a train to get you to New York City. Again, if you're gonna rely on that train, you're gonna be spending a lot of time commuting. There are some bus options in that town that are a little bit more convenient, but irregardless, when I go there, I got this kind of utopia type feeling. It's got a feeling of exclusivity, and when I'm kind of driving around getting B-roll, learning more about the area, I feel like I don't really belong, which I'm not a resident. There's a lot of like private lakes that you have to be a resident to go there. There's lots of signs up, you know, have to be a member. So there's that going on. There's 9 lakes, obviously great for swimming, kayaking. There's a great trail system there just for walking dogs or going for a run yourself. Sidewalks all throughout town, so very easily walkable and bikeable. And when I was out here filming, saw a ton of kids, you know, running, walking on the sidewalks, riding their bikes. It's a great place to live. And speaking of kids, it's got the top rated school district in all of Morris County. So it's got obviously one of the top school districts in all of North Jersey, and they pump out some amazing athletic teams throughout the year. It's a smaller size school, but they're always in contention for like state championships for multiple sports. So an impressive athletics town, which I appreciate. I'm a big sports guy. So if that's something that you're into as well, definitely want to consider mountain lakes. There's also some great and beautiful architecture in mountain lakes. It's got a very craftsman style aesthetic, and they hold that aesthetic to a very high regard in town. There's actually a lot of regulations and rules around that. You have to hold a certain standard level of maintenance of your home so that it doesn't become an eyesore, which is great if you're moving there. You kind of know what you're going to get yourself into, but it's going to take some work and money to upkeep everything to the correct standards. So just something to consider when moving to mountain lakes. Lastly, I'm going to finish with my hometown in Long Valley, otherwise known as Washington Township in Morris County. So it's in the furthest part of Morris County. You're definitely getting further and further away from New York City, making it more and more inconvenient for a New York City commute. So if you are taking a job in New York City, this one might be out of the cards, but hear me out. I recently showed a home in Long Valley to my client moving down here from Buffalo. She brought her nephew, and this home was listed for just under $1 million. It had multiple offers, so it definitely sold for more than that. But it's about 4,000 square feet, built in 2006, so it's a newer house, in-ground pool, mostly updated for the most part. Beautiful home. Again, if you were to have that size house, that size property, those amenities in the closer you get to the city, you're talking like multi-million dollars. So your budget goes way further in a place like Long Valley than it does in a Hoboken, Ridgewood, Morristown, Morris Township, and Mountain Lakes. So if you're looking for kind of cost effectiveness, Long Valley could be a great ticket, especially because it also has a top rated school district for your kids. Also great sports programs, like I had mentioned with Mountain Lakes. People take their sports seriously out here, and Long Valley is no different in that regard. There's also incredible parks in Long Valley. I talk about frequently in my Long Valley videos. The Columbia Trail, it's to me the biggest hub and attractor to town. It's a 16-mile long railroad bed trail, so it's pretty flat, but you've got the coffee potter there. You can grab a treat and a snack and a coffee. It's just a really great place for people of all ability levels. There's also great hiking at Schooley's Mountain Park, Hacklebarney State Park. You got Rock Spring Park. So again, there's tons of parks and rec options in Long Valley. Things are more spread out, not a vibrant downtown, but there's a handful of restaurants and shops to choose from, but nothing like a Hoboken, Ridgewood, Morristown, anything like that, but you get a lot more bang for your buck. And I'll just finish with my client brought her nephew along to this showing. And he lives in Edison, has a New York City commute, so he goes there a few times a week. And what he told me was, he's like, quote unquote, "We would love to live this life," as he's walking through this house in Long Valley, which basically just saying how big the house is and beautiful, and the property and the privacy and the pool. He's like, "We want to live this life, but my job in the city just kind of ties me in a way that I just can't rationalize the commute to living out here in Long Valley." So again, for people who don't have that New York City commute or don't have to go in very often, you can live the life of luxury out in a place like Long Valley for a lot less money than you would as you get closer and closer to the city. Just something to consider. I pretty much gave you some options with the full spectrum of home prices and options. Again, these are just 5 towns. There's hundreds of other towns to choose from, which is where I come into play, because I am a realtor in New Jersey and I would love to be a real estate choice making the move to the Garden State. I can help you find those little nuanced towns and those things that you're not going to find in a Google search. So feel free to call, text, or email me at any time, and I cannot wait to connect. See you next week.